Throughout history, poison has been the weapon of choice for silent, mysterious, and often gruesome deaths. It's a tool that leaves no blood, no gunpowder, just a life extinguished in a twisted game of secrecy and betrayal. Today, we're unraveling the strange and haunting stories of those who met their end through this ancient and sinister art. From philosophers to emperors, these are the weirdest and most shocking facts about people who died from poisoning. We begin with one of the most famous poisonings in history, Socrates, the great philosopher of ancient Greece. Condemned for corrupting the youth, Socrates was sentenced to death by drinking a cup of hemlock. Now here's something weird. Socrates faced his death with surprising calmness, as if he were preparing for a final philosophical experiment. Hemlock doesn't kill instantly. It slowly paralyzes the body, starting with the legs and creeping upward until the victim stops breathing. Socrates, ever the philosopher, described his body's gradual shutdown in eerie detail to those around him. A fitting, yet unsettling end for a man obsessed with knowledge. Juan Ponce de León, the famed explorer, is best known for his quest to find the fountain of youth. But it wasn't old age that ended his life, it was poison. In 1521, while exploring Florida, Ponce de León was struck by a poisoned arrow during a skirmish with indigenous peoples. The arrowhead was coated with a plant-based toxin that led to a slow, painful death. Ironically, the man who sought eternal youth died from a substance that made every passing moment of his final days agonizing. Poison doesn't just kill, it haunts its victims until the end. Charles Francis Hall, an American explorer obsessed with finding the North Pole, met a suspicious and chilling end. In 1871, after a heated argument with his crew during an Arctic expedition, Hall fell violently ill. He suffered from vomiting, intense pain, and eventually paralysis. Before he died, Hall accused his crew of poisoning him. Over a century later, in the 1960s, researchers exhumed his body and confirmed what he had feared. Hall had been poisoned with arsenic. The Arctic explorer had been betrayed in the coldest of ways by the very men who were supposed to help him survive. Emperor Guangxu of China was a reformer who tried to modernize China during the late Qing dynasty, but his political struggles made him a threat to the old guard. In 1908, after being under house arrest for years, Guangxu suddenly died, just one day before the death of Empress Dowager Cixi, his greatest rival. Decades later, tests on his remains revealed shockingly high levels of arsenic, indicating he was poisoned. Some suspect that the Empress herself ordered his murder to ensure her influence remained unchallenged until her final breath. Guangxu, a man of vision, was silenced by a conspiracy lurking within the Forbidden City. Finally, the mysterious death of Grigori Rasputin, the mad monk of Russia, is one of the most bizarre in history. Rasputin, known for his influence over the Romanov family, became a target of nobles who believed he was destroying the empire. But here's where it gets really weird. When they poisoned him with cyanide-laced cakes and wine, he didn't die. Rasputin reportedly shrugged off the poison and even continued to eat. The conspirators, panicking, shot him. But even then, he still showed signs of life. After several more attempts, they eventually drowned him. Rasputin's resistance to poison fueled legends that he possessed supernatural powers, making his death as eerie as the life he lived. Poison has claimed the lives of philosophers, explorers, emperors, and mystics. Whether it's a tool of betrayal, fear, or control, poison adds a sinister twist to these historical figures' final moments. It's a reminder that in the world of power, even a cup of wine or a piece of cake can become a deadly weapon. Thanks for joining me on this eerie journey into the darker side of history. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more strange and shocking tales from the past. Stay curious and remember, things aren't always what they seem.